The other day, I was thinking about how certain books that I have read remind me of different times of the year. And I thought, how fun would it be to share some of my favorite books in each season that I think would be fun to read in each season of the year? And it is summer. Summer reading may be something that you are currently doing. So I have come up with 10 books that I personally love that I think would be really fun to read in the summer. They are a variety of lengths, variety of topics, age ranges, but these are just either books that, one, take place in the summer, two, give me a summery kind of vibe, or three, remind me of something that I would have read as a kid for like summer reading, where you want something adventurous and kind of crazy. So that's what these are. And I'm going to go ahead and jump in with the first one, which, and before I do this, all of these books are highly recommended by me because they are all 5-star reads that I have read throughout my life. So I would not be telling you about these unless I had read them or was reading them. So there you go. The first one that I have is this one right here. It's called Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. I read this book last year. Actually, I listened to the audiobook of it, and there are 3 main characters. There's Tova, who's an older lady. There is Cameron, who is this younger kind of guy. And then there's Marcellus, who is the octopus that is on the cover. And it is such a just beautiful story that has funny moments. It has sad moments in it. I bought this paperback version because of the pages on it. I thought it was so fun. But it's a really good story. I really enjoyed it. Very much kind of a summer mindset because it does take place partially during the summer, but also just super colorful and reminds me a lot of summer. So definitely recommend this one. The second one that I have is one that I just finished reading, and it is called The Sirens by Amelia Hart. This book does not take place in the summer, but because it has the topic of mermaids, sirens, gives that summer kind of feel. It is a little bit intense in parts, not overwhelmingly so, but just something where if you are ready for it, then it'll be good. But definitely kept me on my toes. Didn't kind of know what was happening at some points, which is always really good. I love Amelia Hart's books. This is the second one of hers that she's released, and I have both of them and have read both of them. So this one is also a really fun one for you to read in the summer. The next one is one that I am not finished reading, but because I have enjoyed it so much, I felt like I had to put it in here. And it is called The Amalfi Curse by Sarah Penner. You can see I'm about halfway through right now. But the fact that I'm halfway through and I am telling you that you should read this should kind of say like everything that I needed to say. One thing I forgot to mention about this book that applies to this one too is both of these kind of hop around in time. This one hops from the 1800s to present day, and there's different characters that it focuses on. And this one does the same thing. Different authors, but that's kind of a similarity between them. This one takes place off of the Amalfi Coast in Italy, and very interesting. I have read Sarah Penner's other books and have enjoyed them, and so I bought this one actually at the beach when I went with my family back in May. So I was thinking of the beach when I bought it. It very much has these really cool kind of like oceany vibes. The inside cover is beautiful. Very detailed. The book so far, fantastic. So I'm feeling like this is going to be a 5-star read. It could end up being a 4-star read. I don't think that's going to happen. So that's why I felt confident recommending this one as well. Next is one that I read a couple years ago, and it's not something that takes place in the summer or takes place at a place where you would kind of think of the beach, but it's more of that adventurous kind of things. And it is 1,000 Ships by Natalie Haynes. I read this book I think around Christmas a couple years ago, and I had never read any of Natalie Haynes' books before. She is a very talented writer, specifically with Greek mythology and Greek mythology retellings. This is a retelling of the Trojan War from the perspective of the different women in the story about the Trojan War. So there's these like little vignettes that are happening throughout the book where you're going from the perspective of different people and kind of the narrator tying it all together and kind of mitigating between each of the stories is Calliope, who's one of the muses in Greek mythology. I love Greek mythology, so if you want something that has kind of more of an adventurous side to it, again, it is in the Trojan War, so there are some sad things because war is sad in general. But this book is really good. I think about this book at least once a month. So that should tell you. 2 years ago I read it. I definitely recommend this one. Now we're going to get into some books that I have read a while ago, but they just give me like really warm, cozy summer vibes. And the next one that I want to show you is The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. This one takes place in South Carolina, which I think is pretty cool, in the summer of 1963 or 64. And there is a young girl named Lily and a woman who like helps take care of their house named Rosaline, and they basically hit the road and run because Lily's dad, not a good guy, and they end up at a home of people they have never met before. August, July, and June Boatwright, who happen to be beekeepers, but there's a connection between these beekeepers and Lily's mom, who she is no longer alive and no longer with them, and so that kind of starts off the story. Beautifully written. Really reminds me of the hot summers we have in South Carolina because it happens. So I definitely recommend this one. It's really, really good. Then we have a series of some children's books because I love children's books. That is what got me into my love of reading. It's something that I continually go back to. So these are some childhood favorites of mine that I think would be really fun for you to read this summer. And the first one I have is Because of Winn-Dixie by Kate DiCamillo. This book was my life for so long. My favorite character is Gloria Dump, and she is just, I think, such a fascinating character, so interesting. Of course, Opal, the main character, is interesting as well, and Winn-Dixie, the dog. I love a story with a really smart dog. It's just fun. The litmus lozenges as well in the story. They're a candy that can make you taste something sweet, but it also makes you feel sad, and the story behind that, how the community comes together. I'm not going to spoil everything, but they do have a party and everybody contributes, and that was my favorite part of the book. So I definitely recommend this one. Lots of good nostalgia, lots of fun there. Really, really good book. The next one is not just one of my personal favorites, it's one of my family's favorites, and it is Fair Weather by Richard Peck. This takes place in the summer of 1893 when a family gets to go to the Chicago World's Fair. They have an aunt that lives in Chicago. She invites her sister's kids, and the granddad tags along as well. He is hilarious, but it's just a really cool story of these kids from this really country place going to this city, experiencing not just city life for the first time, but all the things that the World's Fair brought about. And in a time as well when one of the things I remember so vividly, I can't speak today. I remember so clearly, I'll say that, is that there's a part where they go at night and everything's lit up by electricity, and they did not have that back at home. So it's just like overwhelming how much light there is. Really cool perspective. Really short book too. Same thing for Because of Winn-Dixie. So if you want a quick summer read, I definitely recommend this one. It's got some really crazy stuff in there, but it's a really good book. I've got three more. This next one, it's one of my favorite books of all time. I love this one. It is Rainbow Valley by Lucy Maud Montgomery. And I actually borrowed this book from my mom because I was thinking about this book and I really wanted to reread it this summer. And so she let me borrow it, which I'm very thankful for. It is the 7th book in the Anne of Green Gables series. And this is just a cozy book. I don't know of another way to describe it. I just remember reading it. I listened to the audiobook of it. I was a big audiobook kid. Still am an audiobook kid. It's just so good. It's just so good. I could go on and on and on about this book. I won't, but you should read it. Again, really short. I love this book. It's great. You should read it. The next one is one of my top 5 favorite books of all time, and it is The Horse and His Boys by C.S. Lewis. Now, listen to me when I say The Horse and His Boy needs some respect on his name, because a lot of people, for some reason, unknown to me, do not like this book. And I think it's because, I don't understand, but I think I understand, maybe, possibly. I try to understand things. It could be because it does not really focus on the Pevensey children or the people related to them. Like Eustace is another character that comes in later in the series. But they are in this. This is a story that takes place between The Lion, the Witch, well, not between The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, actually during The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, because it's when the 4 Pevensey kids are reigning in Narnia. It is a story about a boy named Shasta who's raised in Calormen, and he finds out that the person raising him, not his actual dad. So there's a guy visiting his dad that's a fisherman, who is really big, bad, mean guy. And Shasta is like really upset. He finds out he's not actually his dad's kid. And the guy's horse that he's taking care of starts talking to him. Turns out the horse is from Narnia. His name is Bree. They escape. They meet a girl named Aravis and her talking horse named Hwin, also captured from Narnia. And they travel through Kilnorman to Narnia. Essentially, that's the whole story. But there's a lot of times in this book, the specific reason why I thought it would be a good summer read is because they talk about how hot it is in Kilnorman, and there's a desert they have to walk through, and they talk about how hot it is. So that was something that made me think of it. But also, really, really cool adventure story, very beautifully done. And again, summer reading. This is like quintessential summer reading for me. So I definitely recommend this one. And my last one that I have to recommend is not necessarily a children's book or like a fiction kind of book. It is a nonfiction book, technically. But I love this book. Ow, I just hit the wall. It's okay. It is called How to Be a Moonflower by Katie Daisy. I have both of Katie Daisy's books that she's released. The first one's called How to Be a Wildflower. That one's not really summery vibes. This one is literally on the introduction page, because I was thinking this and then I went to look at it on the introduction page. It says, the summer sun dips below the horizon. And I said, well, there you go. My thinking was correct. It is a field guide to exploring nature at dusk and at night. There's things about looking at constellations, hit myself on the face, also reducing light pollution, some other things that you can do, how to host a full moon party, just some fun little things. And I have read this book as well as, I'm looking over there because it's on my bookshelf, How to Be a Wildflower. I've read those, each of them in like a day, but I'll go back and I'll look through them when I'm feeling really stressed, and it just kind of zones me out and like makes me feel really calm. So if you need a book that you want to read that is not like brain heavy, you don't have to concentrate so hard, but you want something to just kind of relax your mind, this is it. Now, an honorable mention that I do want to say, I didn't include it in this because it's also from the Chronicles of Narnia, but I wanted to do The Horseman's Boy more, is The Voyage of the Dawn Treader by C.S. Lewis. It's adventure on a boat. They're going all these different places. Obviously, kind of summery vibes. But that is it. Those are my top 10 suggestions. I could have gone on and said more, but these are the ones that I was thinking. If you have any other summer reading suggestions for me, please let me know. I love to find new books or to connect with people and realize that we like the same kind of books. And I am planning on doing this for each of the seasons after this. So fall and winter and spring. I'm going to do 10 books for each of those too. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you made it this far, thank you so much. And I hope you have a great day.